Hello YouTube family, Merry Christmas and a huge Happy New Year to all of you. With the 2026 World Cup on the way, the energy in the football world is already building and we are thrilled to be sharing it with this amazing community. To celebrate, we have lined up some holiday surprises in the Goal 90 shop. A bunch of your favourite jerseys are already up to 50% off. Shipping is on us, and because you are part of our YouTube fam, you can grab an extra 10% off with the code YouTubeFam. Thanks for all the love and support. 2026 is going to be massive. Let's enjoy every moment together. We're halfway into the season now and a lot has happened across leagues and competitions. We've seen teams begin to make their intentions known and players start to stamp their authority on the world of football. For certain players like Haaland, Mbappé and Lamine Yamal, the performances come as no surprise to anybody. But there are a few players whose performances and numbers have taken a massive leap from what we used to know, throwing everyone into a state of shock. Those are the players we're here to talk about. These are 10 most improved players in the 2025-26 season. We'll start with Jack Grealish. The Englishman just was not good enough at City, especially in his final couple years. But this season he has massively improved while playing for Everton. For context, Grealish was directly involved in a total of 6 Premier League goals in the last 2 full seasons combined. Guess what? He has already matched that tally halfway into this season. That shows massive improvement from the player. From being an outcast internationally, not even making it to Euro 2024, Grealish is now back in the Three Lions dynamic and has a decent chance of making it to the World Cup next summer. It's impossible to say that the former Aston Villa man has not improved massively, or maybe he just needed a new environment. But as for Ferran Torres, he didn't need that. While still at Barcelona, the Spaniard has improved so much. He has looked so much better and more clinical this season, doing enough to put Robert Lewandowski on the bench. I mean, it's not even the new year yet, but Ferran has already surpassed his La Liga goal tally from last season. Right now, he's second only to Kylian Mbappé for goals in the Spanish top flight this season. Even more interesting is the fact that Mbappé, who's said to be having an extraordinary season, has just 2 more non-penalty league goals than Ferran Torres this season. That alone tells you how much the Barcelona man has improved. At this rate, should he be Spain's starting striker at the World Cup? What do you think? Anyway, another player who has massively improved this season is Trevoh Chalobah. This season he has been Chelsea's best and most reliable centre-back, which is something you would never have said about him in previous seasons. I mean, this is a guy who was loaned out by Chelsea because they were sure they had no use for him. He was only brought back because of an injury crisis. Now he has managed to establish himself as a top defender, even adding goals to his game. Now, there are a couple more Chelsea players on this list. Do you know who they are? Take a guess in the comments. We'll see if you're right soon. While you're there, if you aren't yet subscribed to the channel, go do that right away so you never miss out on our amazing content. Speaking of players who were recently loaned out, let's talk about Emiliano Buendia. He was loaned out to Bayer Leverkusen in January because he was deemed to no longer be useful. Then in the summer transfer window, the coach literally told him he could leave because he just had not been at the required level for years. But the Argentine insisted on staying back and has now shown massive improvement in such a short time. How much has he improved? Listen to this. In the last 3 seasons combined, Buendia was involved in a total of 13 goals in all competitions. This season alone, he has already been involved in 8 in December. If that's not a massive improvement, then we don't know what else is. Another player who certainly belongs on this list is Calvert-Lewin. Many people had already written him off because of his performances in recent seasons. It's because of his bad form that Everton didn't even try to keep him after his contract with the club expired in the summer. But with Leeds, we have seen some massive improvements in his game. From managing only 12 goals in his last 3 Premier League seasons, Calvert-Lewin has now scored 7 Premier League goals just halfway into the 2025-26 season and is in the top 5 in the Golden Boot race. It's impossible to say he hasn't improved massively. Now remember, we said there's a couple more Chelsea players on this list? Yeah, one of them is Pedro Neto. Anybody who has watched him over the last couple seasons will bear witness that he has improved so much. Neto scored a total of 6 goals in his last 2 Premier League seasons combined. This season he has already scored 5 Premier League goals and we're still just in December. Even apart from the goals, just watch the way Neto plays and you'll see the all-round improvement. He looks hungrier, more direct and now creates more chances. He's just a really more impactful player right now and Chelsea are massively benefiting from it. Another Chelsea man on this list is Robert Sanchez. Last season he had a reputation for making a lot of silly errors and just generally costing his team. He was so bad that the coach was forced to keep him on the bench for Petrovic at some point in the season. But so far in the 2025-26 campaign, Sanchez has looked like one of the best players in the league. He makes brilliant saves, claims crosses, distributes well, and gives his defense a sense of confidence and assurance. In fact, this season, he is in a close race with David Raya for the Premier League Golden Glove, and the fact that you can actually see him winning it at the end of the season shows how much he has improved. Another Spaniard who just has to be on this list is Eric Garcia. A couple years ago, it felt like his time in Barcelona was over. When he was loaned out to Girona in 2023, it seemed like there was just no way back for him. But he came back and managed to work his way into the team. He was pretty decent last season, but he has gone up several notches this season. Right now, he's one of Barcelona's most important players, and it surely helps that he's able to put up amazing performances in about 4 different positions on the pitch, making him practically undroppable. So far, he's the only player to have played in all competitive games for Barcelona this season. From coming close to being axed out of the team to being the first name on the team sheet, yeah, Garcia has come a long, long way. Another versatile player who falls into this category is Nico O'Reilly. Last season, not many people knew who he was, but this season, he has risen to be one of City's best players. I mean, this dude rocked up to the Bernabeu for the first time in his career, scored a vital equaliser, and left with the Player of the Match award. That's just absolutely crazy, especially for a 20-year-old. At this rate, he's probably one of the favourites for Premier League and PFA Young Player of the Season. Finally, Nico Gonzalez has improved so much. He came in January and the expectation was that he would play a lot due to Rodri's injury absence. Well, it appeared that the coach wasn't very impressed with the new signing as he hardly used Nico until the end of the season, even pushing the player and his camp to consider leaving the club prematurely. But well, since the start of the new season, things have turned around for him. He appears to have won the coach over and he now starts practically every game for the club. From being an outcast, Nico is now one of the first names on the team sheet for Manchester City. As a matter of fact, the La Masia graduate is quite undroppable at this point. Now, still at Man City, an honourable mention is Phil Foden. He had a truly dismal campaign last season, but he seems to have found his form again and is now really getting into his groove this season. In a way, you can say that he improved so much from last season, but when you consider that he carried Manchester City on his back and reached heights as high as the Premier League Player of the Season and 11th place at the Ballon d'Or as recently as last year, it's hard to put him on this list with the rest of the guys who have never reached the levels Foden has reached in his career. But if you were going to give the award for the single most improved player in the 2025-26 season, who would that award go to? Tell us in the comments. If you enjoyed this video, give it a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel. Also, turn on the bell notification so you never miss out on new content. Catch you in the next one. Bye. Hello YouTube family, Merry Christmas and a huge Happy New Year to all of you. With the 2026 World Cup on the way, the energy in the football world is already building and we are thrilled to be sharing it with this amazing community. To celebrate, we have lined up some holiday surprises in the Goal 90 shop. A bunch of your favourite jerseys are already up to 50% off. Shipping is on us, and because you are part of our YouTube fam, you can grab an extra 10% off with the code YouTubeFam. Thanks for all the love and support. 2026 is going to be massive. Let's enjoy every moment together.